Welcome to our pitch, which is actually just a tiny beach look. Sorry. Sorry. So this is the pitch. Welcome to the flatlands. This is blah blah. This is a world that is completely flat and infinite, which means there's couple houses if we go that direction. But for now, this is our beach location. This is going to be our beach. Well, I made it off stream today. Earlier, because I wanted a beach house, but I didn't want to use a already existing beach. Because I'm pretty sure we have like used all the beaches in every every world that I actually have. I didn't want to make another world just to have a beach house. We have made a couple of beach houses. Like I have made a few. There is a lot of beach houses that I have made in my time creating beach houses. So I decided that we should do something a little bit different. As you can see, the pool is partially done. It's partially there. You can see a couple lines of sand. You know, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know. Hold on, I did never free you guys. There we go. Hi, chat. Sorry, chat. Oh gosh, that was a good start. That was an excellent start. Okay, shall we do this again? As I said, this is the beach. I didn't make it a huge beach. Also, due to the fact that I don't want a huge house. I want to make a tiny house. And I actually this time, which is odd for usual, since I usually don't really use any, how would I describe it, any models. I don't really usually use any inspirational actual houses, usually never, except on the castle, which I mean, technically it is partially inspiration from old castles. But beyond that, I usually don't really use any inspiration or anything. But this is a little bit different. This beach house is a little bit different actually. Since I've been watching a lot of house hunters and housing what are they called, shows, I guess, like house shows, like you find your dream house and etc etc. I got really inspired by one house. I unfortunately can't show you it because I don't have it. But it's from a show that had a lot of houses that they were looking into, especially ones in a dense forest that were tiny, teeny tiny, like extremely tiny houses. And one of them was so beautiful. It looked like a tiny castle. Like it had like those castle-like features. But it also, from the front, when you were looking at it from the front, it looked like kind of like a cat ears almost. Like the house had little cat ears, and I thought that was so cute. Which is why I also wanted to incorporate in this one. How does the gothic-like features come into this particular build? Good question. It's going to be the amount of details, because a lot of gothic and gothic era especially had a lot of detailed what are they called, features, and a lot of detailed the endings, towers, nope, that's not the word, trims, I'm gonna call it trimmings because I have no idea what the English word for it actually is. So that's what it's called now, because I have absolutely no fucking idea what the actual English word for it is. So it's called trimmings now, because I have no idea the actual English word. But that's besides the point, okay? That's besides the point. We're not gonna get attached to little details today. Hopefully, as much as usual. Okay, I will try to restrain myself from getting attached to the smallest details of the fact that I can talk. Thank you. But as I said, hold on, how do I have Did I actually even start the strip? Yes, I did. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Anyways, back to the point. Back to the point. As I was saying, I was thinking we could do a tiny, like, I want to use a lot of stone, which is not the most usual for beach houses. Usually, beach houses are a lot mostly made out of wood and just different kinds of woods. And there usually isn't any, how would I describe it? Any stone. They usually don't have any stone. They're just completely usually, unless we are talking about the foundation, of course they're gonna have a stone. Duh. It's a house. It needs foundation, but it's, let's not get attached to the small details. Anyways, as I was saying, they usually do not have that much stone. But due to the fact that, yeah, Minecraft doesn't have that many options for wood, we are kind of limited on the wood extension part and what the wood looks like. So, so that means we're going to have to use stone because, like I said, we're going to the Gothic era, which has also a lot of dark gray and blackness. Those are the most commonly used color coordinations. Those are the most commonly used colors. So stone is gonna be one, and black stone is gonna be one that we are going to be using on this house. Because as I said, Gothic era, there's a lot of dark colors, mainly dark colors, but also deep dark colors, which means purple, like dark purple. But I don't know if I want to use dark purple that much because that's dark purple just reminds me of like end cities, and I'm not too sure if I want that. For some reason, the purple just makes me think about end cities. And I don't want our house to look like an end city. That's not really what I was going for or hoping for at all. But that's gonna be where we are gaining the inspiration. Also, the house is gonna be three tiny parts. So we're gonna have like three tiny little towers, basically. Well, not technically towers. They're not technically towers, but technically they are tower shaped. I'm gonna just. I should just show you instead of like just talking and trying to explain what the fuck I mean when I can't, apparently. Okay, this is what I mean. Hold on, let's take something that could be a cool foundation. Let's start from the basics, okay? I feel like I'm jumping ahead while I'm talking too much. So, let's reel it back a little bit. Let's take it back a notch and think about the foundation as what the concept is that we want the foundation to be made out of. Because that's the first step. We need to think about foundation. Beach houses usually have like very light foundation, which is what I'm going to do. I'm trying to recreate like three different elements of building in one particular building, which is beach houses, which is usually very light colors and lightness and wood and shit, like, right? Because they are usually made that way. And then incorporate very much detailed, very much detailed Gothic era with dark colors, which is the complete opposite of of the beach houses. I am very fully aware of this situation, okay? I do know that beach houses aren't usually made very detailed either. They're usually very simple, very like simple shapes and simplicity, right? But since it's Minecraft, I feel like we can break the rules. Because, like, normally you wouldn't get that in a beach house. But due to the fact that it is a beach house, I want to kind of lift uh, the part where we go into the house a little bit off the ground. I need three towers because, like I said, I do have an inspiration house. I unfortunately cannot show it It is not any Minecraft house, if that's what you're thinking. It is not. It's an actual house. It's an actually a cottage, if we're being fully honest. It's a cottage, and not so much a beach cottage either. It's very much a forest, deep forest house, which also, again, it's a new element I am incorporating in this house, which is probably gonna just make this house building a fucking nightmare for myself. So I am hyped and I am scared as hell. Also, if we need to extend our beachfront a little bit, we can. I just started it just so I can have like a basic beach, basically, and I don't need to do this much terraforming on stream. Because as I have told multiple times, I hate terraforming on stream a lot. I hate nothing more than terraforming on stream. That is my nightmare. That is my absolute worst nightmare. I cannot do it. I just can't bring myself to concentrate on one thing as long as it takes to terraform things while I'm talking. Thank you. It's my nightmare to have to terraform on stream, which is why we're not doing it as much as we don't need to, okay? That's why we have the tiny beach already. And we can extend it if we need to, but I don't really feel like it, so we're gonna work with it. So, back to the house. As I was saying, I want three shapes of towers, basically. Which means we're gonna just make a simple towers that are somehow connected to each other. Because they do be needing to connect to each other. I don't want to make them big, because the original house that I got the inspiration from is super tiny, like it's extremely small. I think this might be even too big. But if we go too small, the shape of roundness, like that's the problem with Minecraft, okay? If we can't really make a round shape, the closest we're gonna get to a round shape is basically this, right? But if we go too small with the blocks that we have in between, it's gonna start looking less and less round, right? Because it all starts from the one block, right? If we go too small, it's not gonna be round. Which means we're going to have something to create the round shape with. I think 2 blocks is the minimum we're gonna need to make a round shape. If I'm not misunderstood. Yes, I am correct. So this is like the smallest round shape we can make. But since I want the smaller towers to be smaller than the in-between tower, right? Because we're gonna have 3 towers, as I said, 3 towers. And this is the smallest shape we can get to make it look still a rounder shape. And I need them to be round shape, but this is gonna be a smallest house that I probably have built. No, actually no. I take it back. I have made smaller houses than this one. One of them being like half of the size of this, I think. One storage, half this size. I think that's the smallest one. Besides the point, that's gonna be the smallest room. And I was thinking, one of the small towers, so the big tower, I was thinking we make into a library, right? Makes sense because books takes a lot of space. That's one of the things that always bothers me about building, is the fact that we need to start thinking about like placement of things we need and things we need to do in the towers, basically. When we're making a tower shape, okay? If we were not to make a tower shape, but we would be okay if we don't have a tower. It would be finer if we wouldn't have this, basically. But we need guidelines, okay? And I feel like this is fine. Okay, that needs to be shifted a little bit this way. Not by a lot. Also, this is gonna be smaller, and that's gonna have a lot more height. It's gonna be taller. So the side parts are gonna be taller, but smaller. And then the between of them is gonna be like, it's gonna have more size around it. but less on the height side. Which also, again, we need bookshelves because we need an enchantment area, unless we want to make it underground. But due to the fact that this is a flatland, I will show you how close to the actual ground we are. So we don't really have that much until we are, well, out of here. We're very close to the void, which, again, bit of a problem. Bit of a problem, I would say. Just a tiny problem, not a big one. But it is a huge problem if we want to think about this place as a multi-storage house. Then it's a tiny bit of a problem, just a small one. I would say that's a small detail. I mean, we can technically build on the void. Technically, that wouldn't be as much of a problem that I'm planning it out to be. Taking consideration we are in the creative. So, technically, we won't die when we go to the void. But would we? I don't know if I want to take that risk that we would die on the void even though we are in the creative mode. So maybe not multi-storage. And we have a problem. Just close your eyes for a second. I will take care of this problem for us. Just quick problem solved. Yay. Okay, you saw nothing. You saw nothing. But that's the basic idea. So, now how do we execute this plan? That is the next question that I have. Also, due to the fact that it is a beach house, I was thinking I want to make the foundation lighter, making it look like it's kind of floating. A lot of beach towers, beach houses have that like lifted look, so that the little annoying corner under the house usually is a little bit lifted. If you ever seen a beach house, that's the basic. So which means we're gonna lift this house up a little bit as well. But we have a problem with that. I wanna leave this here. But do we want to cover it up with sand? So, because this is not gonna be the first floor, right? The actual first floor... I'm having a hiccup. Hold on. This is gonna be the first floor. Since, you know, we're gonna lift it up. It's gonna be high up. Like I said, this is gonna still be quite high up because I want that beach house look. Which is basically like lightness. We want to make this lighter and feel less heavy. Even though we are using blackstone, which is... I mean, technically it is a heavy material, just... We're gonna make it look like it's not. We need to make somehow blackstone feel less heavy material. Because blackstone is quite heavy material. And now we need to figure out a way to make it look lighter. One option is just leave this open completely. One option, we could make tiny water pool here actually. That would make it look lighter. We could even maybe connect it to our beach, but that takes a lot of space and also it's gonna be in the middle, so maybe not. I was thinking kind of like a sewage, but I mean I suppose we don't really need one, so yeah, maybe not. Do we want the inside to be also looking exactly like the outside is the next question. Here's the thing, okay? Here's where it gets interesting, right? We don't really need to have the same design indoors, right? Since it doesn't really have to look that much gothic on the inside as it does on the outside, right? That's gonna be... Also, that's... I mean, it's not a problem. It's... These are the only ones that have a problem if we were to do it. Hold on, I need this to be more like here. So this is going to be the shape of the smallest one. Let's start thinking about where we want to add the smallest towers, right? I think 2 should be fine because they need to be equal number. Otherwise, it's not gonna be round shape. Okay. One thing to remember: if it's not equal numbers, it's not gonna look round. If you have like two threes, so let's say you have 2 and then you have 3 and then you have 2 and then you have 3, if you mix them up, it's not gonna look round. Just saying. Well, technically yes, but less like it. It's gonna look weird. That's what I mean. It's gonna look a little awkward shape, right? So you wanna go with equal numbers, kind of like 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, etc., etc. That way you can get the actual shape and make it look reasonable and have a reason to exist, which is also important if you want to make the house look exactly like ours. There's a tiny problem though. Okay, here's where we are hitting a problem. If we lift this up, right? We're gonna have to lift these up as well. But we can't incorporate the same pattern as we have down here, which is like we have this here, the pillar here. We're gonna need a pillars here and here instead, right? That's the technicality. But if we don't have pillars here, then it looks like it's floating and like the house is gonna tilt this way or this way or that way, right? It doesn't look like a foundation. But if we leave more than that, it's gonna, again, we're gonna have an awkward situation. Because that's not gonna be the only one. So we are just gonna basically make a cage around our house, and I'm not too sure if I like that idea. I don't know if I like the idea of caging our house. Because that, again, this takes away from the lightness of the build. Because the building was supposed to be light and feel like it's lifted and have that like heaviness lifted off of it. But since it is a round shape, we can't really, well, how would I describe it? We can't really do this unless we do that. Because we need to remember that we still have this one as well, and this one is gonna be a problem. Because we need, it's 2. It's 2, otherwise we're gonna have this. This is gonna happen to our house. I don't want this. I don't want no fences. I just want sticks. I just want sticks and none of that. But also this is gonna be a problem. Hold on, let me show you guys what I mean. So this is what I mean when I say it's gonna be a challenge to make it look lighter, while simultaneously keeping that tower feel. Because now we're making awkward shapes, which makes it again look like it's tilting, right? That's gonna be the floor, basically. This is just the floor that we're thinking right now. This is basically just the floor. Just the floor. Just saying, this is just the floor. Also, I just realized we need to go one more this way. We need our house to go this way. Huh. Okay, we'll fix it later. We'll fix it later. Why? Because I need these two to connect. I need there to be a little bridge between these. I'm gonna connect them from these. That's also why I was doing the 2s on this tower. So I can basically, they're separated, but they're gonna be connected with each other, like with the little bridge. So that's, we need to shift it 1 block. I didn't recognize that before. But yeah, we're gonna have to shift this a little bit. Huh. Do we just like the idea of having this sort of a foundation? I mean, it's a different kind that I usually do. Which, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I guess it could be a good thing. Depends on how you see it, I suppose. Let's tear this down, because we need to shift it. And I will get just confused if I have this here. Of what is where. I usually do get confused. To be quite honest, it's very easy to get confused while I'm building. I will try to explain it as good as I possibly can while I'm building, but sometimes I forget to explain it so it makes sense to someone else's. To just me. Because oftenly shit just makes only sense for me, and that's the point. But this is basically, I think this will be fine. We just need to make sure that we don't use too much blackstone either. Because here's the thing, if we use too much blackstone, then it's gonna again look less like a beach house, and beach houses are light. And that's also gonna be a problem, which is why I think it's a fun little challenge to do a gothic style, which is usually ultimately extremely detailed and also extremely dark colors, very dark colors, the complete opposite of beach houses, which are usually very light, airy, and happy colors. They are usually happy colors, not so much darkness and other stuff like that, which is what this house is gonna be embodying, which is interesting. I mean, it could be looking terrible, but I have high hopes of the fact that it will look amazing. Because here's the thing, this is gonna be one of those houses where either A, it looks absolutely horrible, and I will be crying because the end result is so terrible, or B, this is one of those houses where it's gonna look absolutely amazing, and no questions asked. Okay? I feel like all my builds that I do that aren't usually, like the usual things that I build, I've noticed that most of the time, they are very much hit or miss. They are like highly hit or miss. Like there is no in between. There is no golden like just in between era. No, there is not. There is not like semi okay builds. They're usually either A, amazing, or B, terrible as hell. Like they're the worst builds in the world, or they are the best builds that I've done so far. There's no in between. What comes to my builds, there's no in between. But also I've noticed that my build style is very much just doing things and then realizing at some point that it either looks terrible or this was the best idea I have had so far. Which is, I mean, I suppose I should know where the middle ground is, but I don't have it. What comes to building, I don't have a middle ground, which is, I mean, it's debatable whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like I should have a middle ground building style, but I really just don't. And 99% of the time while I'm building everything, like if you're wondering where I get inspiration for the builds, like today, the inspiration came from a tiny house that I saw on TV, while simultaneously completely not even going close to it. Okay, the building that I was looking at is more like, if you have seen cottagecore, it's very much that style, like very fairy tale cottagecore, nice cuteness, all that kind of stuff, and based on the foundation, I would say that this is not gonna be even close to that. Based on the foundation, I could hardly say that this is gonna be one of those builds that it's could be described as cute and cuddly. Based on the foundation, I would say this is gonna be very far from it. Which is why I can't really say, like, even though the inspiration came from that house, I can't say that This house really represents that house. Since it's very much just inspiration from there. But this is the idea, okay? This is still, we're doing the foundation because I want to connect the houses. So there's gonna be this bridge. This bridge is gonna connect the houses to each other. They are not gonna be connected by the walls. The walls are gonna be open from these sides, so you can actually walk into the other side as well. But there won't be any walls or roof, in a matter of fact, on the side parts. So the little bridge, this little bridge you can see. I don't know if I'm going to make a wall so you don't fall while you're walking on it. But beyond that, probably nothing else. Okay, probably nothing else than that. Because I want to keep them very simple and also very open. And I also kinda thinking I want them, maybe even the bridge, very much like this. I kind of liked it. Okay, now that we're adding details, I take it back. I think this might become, I won't say this is, since it yet isn't anything, but it could be at some point. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But it's starting to look like one of my best builds. I love the shape. The shape is very, how would I say, describe this without making it sound interesting, but like, it's very organic, which is like what I was kinda going for, but not even close. I am so terrible at explaining what I'm trying to do that I sometimes wonder if I should even explain and just show what I'm doing. Also, we're gonna hide some lights here. Why? Because you can make it glow under the slab, which is what we're technically gonna do. But okay, here's the thing. I was thinking trapdoors, but is the foundation gonna become too much? Because like now you can see, like, you wouldn't think that will hold the foundation, right? Anymore, because the foundation is getting very heavy if we add more. Which is why I'm thinking the trapdoors are too much. Because we still need to think, if these tiny little sticks were holding our house up, would we be scared or not? If tiny sticks holding our house up, would we be scared if we do have more shit on top of it? Yes, which is why we're not gonna add more. Thank you. That is how we decide whether the build is too much or not. If the building is starting to look like we're gonna get scared while we're walking on it, then we know that's too much. Then we know we need to chill. That's when you know you need to chill with the building, okay? That's the point where you start thinking maybe we need to chill for a second and maybe make it a little less heavy. Also, these are gonna be the bridges. If you're wondering why I'm adding them now, I don't know either. I just decided to add them now to see the foundation completed, but they are probably gonna change. I don't really like them that much, unless they look good with the wood. And yeah, I decided to use wood as well. I like the foundation. The foundation is fine. Now we're gonna have to add some glow under it, because otherwise this is gonna be mob paradise and a pain in the ass otherwise. And yes, this should glow under the slab. I do not know if they glow under the slab on Java Edition as well, but on Bedrock they should glow light under the slab. And I do recommend, if you're making this house yourself, I recommend using Stroomlight. Stroomlight and what is it called? God damn it. The sea thing. Sea lantern are the ones that have the most light glowing out of them. So I recommend either one of those. But I morely recommend shroom light because it's softer and usually much like natural than the sea lantern. The sea lantern is much how would I describe it? Harder color light. It's not as soft as a lighting as the shroom light is, because they have a different kind of glow, which I'm not too sure if it is just the light level they have, which creates the difference, but whatever the fucking reason is, shroom light usually, as I have noticed, I do not know how much there is a crown on it, on the claim that it's softer light, but I'm pretty sure this room light has a softer light. Could just be the light level, to be honest, but either or. Anyways, back to the point that I was making. It do be having a softer light, which is why I usually recommend if you want that natural soft light. I recommend using shroom light, especially if it is a light that you're going to cover up. Then use shroom light or sea lanterns. Do not use other lights because they do not glow as much. Unless you want to go with something extremely moody, then of course something like, I don't know, I'm not actually sure. Because if we were to add a lantern under, so this would not create any light. I'm pretty sure. This does not create any light, if I'm correct. Because it's covered up in all sides. But the shroom light and sea lantern do. Also, glowstone is a good one. It's a better one than I would say than the sea lantern. The redstone lamp is the worst one. Because I think, I'm not sure if soft light is the right English word for it, okay? Don't come after me. I do not know if that is the actual English word. Thank you. But I'm pretty sure the sea lantern has like the harshest color of the light. But I don't know for sure. I'm not 100% sure. It's the light levels that make them that way. Anyways, back to the point. Why is it raining? Why do I have a rain on? Hold on. I shall go to the settings. I can't. Why is it fucking raining? I didn't know that I had a rain on. No coordinates because it's a flatland. Always day doesn't have to be. Blah blah blah. Weather cycle. There it is. No weather cycle. Thank you. I also do not want daylight cycle either. Okay, now I should be able to sleep. If we don't have, like, I don't want to make it daylight all the time, because I do want to still be able to make nighttime when we're looking at the house, because I think the best pictures can be taken. Oh, right, hold on. Where's the chat? Which one was the chat? Whether... I forgot that it's not gonna clear it since I, you know, activated it already. Clearing the weather, thank you. Sometimes I forget. Okay, occasionally I forget. Where was I when I was making the house? Okay, let's just continue. What did I explain before I started to get annoyed by the weather? Something somewhere. Because here's the thing. I think the best lighting is during the nighttime. Especially if you make your own lighting system. Of course, everyone doesn't really like moody lights and stuff. Which is, I mean, you're wrong. I'm just saying you're wrong. Because nighttime is the best time to take pictures in Minecraft. Just saying. It 1000% is. If you say anything else, you're just plainly wrong. You're just wrong, and that's okay. You can be wrong, okay? But I also don't like the nighttime when I'm building. because no one can see what I'm building if I build turning the nighttime, which is why we're not building at the nighttime. If you guys could see, here's the thing, my favorite time in Minecraft is the nighttime, which is why if I could somehow make it so that the nighttime you guys could see equally as good what I'm doing while it's nighttime and daytime, and you guys could see what I see, it would be nighttime all the time. But since I can't, this is what we have. And then the end results, as we usually always have, like, and always do, once everything is done, I oftenly do a little after the build kind of a stuff, where we take a last look of the builds, which is usually when I turn down the lights, basically, and the world goes dark, and it's a nighttime. Why? Because that's the best place and best time to look at the builds. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now, the secondary question, and here, well, it's technically not a question as much as it probably should be. Besides the point, I'm thinking, since we now have the foundation, and I want to leave the foundation like this, because I'm thinking this is a cool looking foundation. Okay, you can't tell me otherwise. So this is the shape if someone is making this house themselves. This is the shape of the house. So we have the chisel deep slate as like a surrounding, and the chisel deep slate is gonna be where the walls are. Okay, as you can see, the chisel I can't describe it. I can't pronounce this. Chisel. I don't know how to say it in English, but you know, the chisel. I don't know the English word. I'm just gonna call it deep slate. Either way, this is gonna be the walls. As you can see, there is not gonna be much space inside. As you can see, the inside is not gonna be very spacious in any of the rooms, which is why one of them, so I was thinking either this side or that side, the smaller ones, are gonna be the bedroom. Also, because it's going to be having the entrance here, this is gonna be the entrance to the house, right? So we need a lot of space, like, in this side, which is also why, like, this works the best as a library. Thank you. I almost forgot the word. Yep. But yeah, this works as a library because we can work with this shape. The shape is perfect for bookshelves, and also just enchantment things. You know, the usual. And also, I can make this work as a kitchen. I can make it work as a tiny kitchen, definitely, because we're gonna have height. So the height is gonna be more, which is why I think I can make this work. Since, well, we're not gonna have that much space in between, right? If we do have height, we could maybe even start the kitchen from here, so we cover up this behind. Basically with storage. I was thinking behind this could be a storage area, which you can't really access with anything. And I'm probably gonna cover it up by making wall here, and then wall here. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, okay, now that we're thinking about it, maybe we should think about it later. Just saying, that could be a good idea. Now, I was thinking we use the note blocks as a foundational element in our house. Now, more so as a trimming than a foundation, right? Since we're not gonna really well, the foundation is already there, which is, I know, I am confusing myself too. To be quite frankly honest, I am confusing myself as well. So, but that's besides the point. I think this is gonna be the house. I don't know if I want to add windows as much, I might want to leave most of the windows out of this house. It's not gonna have windows. At least these parts. So the tower parts are not gonna have towers. Towers? No, windows. Except maybe the bedroom should have a window. Since it is a bedroom. Maybe it should have one window or something. Actually, if we wanna go full fancy, if we wanna go full fancy on the house, we could technically, in full honesty, we could maybe even make one of the towers fully glass. It's just a recommendation. Like I mean, rest of it could be wood and stuff, and just one tower would have a huge window. And I was thinking that's gonna be the bedroom. I know it's a dumb idea. It's a dumbass idea, but that idea could work. I mean, it's a painful idea. It definitely is like an easy way out, basically. But I mean, I don't have any other ideas. And it seems the most reasonable idea out of all the ideas I've so far had. All I'm saying, it could work. Would it look dumb? Yes. I can lie. I tried to lie and say that it wouldn't work, but I mean it could work. I did try to lie about it. Okay, I did try to lie about it. Now, next step. Which would look the closest to actually the music box as as tree as tree. I can't. Why did I take the same wood twice? That was why do these look exactly the same? They're way too close to each other. That is way too close to the other one. You can't lie to me. That looks exactly the same. And yes, I wanted to be stripped. Mainly due to the fact that it just looks cleaner. I'm sorry, but this is too many patterns. We need to trim down the patterns because, you know, the note block has a lot of pattern. If we add pattern on top of a pattern, it just that's a huge ass mess. It's a huge ass mess. Then instead, if we have wood, now it looks cleaner since it doesn't have like billion different things going on simultaneously all the time. Well, instead, if we were to add this instead, see? Way too much shit going on. That is just, then taking consideration we have all this other stuff as well. So it's just gonna be too much. It's just gonna be too much. Which is why stripped is the way we go, because it has less patterns and less things, but it still looks like a wood. It still looks like a wood, but it's not as detailed as than the oak plank or the plank just in general. Because the plank also has a lot of details, which again, this is a fucking mess. This is a fucking mess. This is too much details. That is just a fucking mess. No, we're not doing that. That is too much. It's gonna take like all of the ice out of the whole building if we add planks. But then if we were to use planks, it could simultaneously look a little bit more like a beach cottage, because they are usually made out of, like, you know, wood planks. Thank you. I don't think the outside is called wood planks. I don't think the houses are made out of planks. I would highly recommend not making your house out of planks. But if we were not to think about the planks, because in full honesty, if we were to have like dyed blanks, so like if we could basically use any color, kind of like painted, like if we were to have paint, red one, red blanks would look freaking crazy on this house. But taking consideration, I also want still the house to be more gothic than cottagecore, which is also why I want like those harsh finishes without like without with having details while simultaneously taking details out. Because usually the patterns of gothic houses, they don't really have as much like um how would I describe it, detail in the actual houses, but then the trims and then the finishes of roofs and then the trimmings of the roofs and etc usually are highly, and I I want to say this highly, have a lot of details. They usually have like a lot of carvings on them, and they usually have like a lot of pointed details, like very hard details, like pointed details. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's a pointing. It's usually like very sharp edges. Sharpness, I think, is the word that I was looking for. Thank you. Sharp edges. Let's just call it sharp. Which is why we need to take off some of the detail. Since also Gothic, even though it does have a lot of details, like Gothic style builds, usually have a lot of details, but the actual like patterns and colors are usually very trimmed, very neutral, usually also very much black or gray. And if we go to look at the buildings, like if we were to look at buildings from Gothic era, they usually very dark colors, like very dark black, but not necessarily black black. Because black color, like the black that we know now, didn't really exist during that time, right? It was very much darker gray. Why? Because black as a color was very, very expensive during the Gothic era, which is why you don't really see that much uh, black colors unless you're looking at like high society pictures. You will see black color more used due to the fact that it then again high society thing. Only the rich could afford the color black, which is also why Gothic era buildings are like dark grayish color, because it's the stone is easier to get that color without using, well, dye, dyeing, painting. Why the fuck do I keep losing the word painting? Without using paint. It's like I'm pretty sure if you like burn it a certain way, you can get it to a certain color. If you're doing a certain stone, which is again like I don't know the exactly the same the process of it, but I have heard something like that, which is again nitty gritty, but I don't want to make it completely like looking awkward, which is why I usually just restrain myself with the colors while I'm building something like this. Because, too much is too much, too little is too little. And also, I like this pattern that notebooks have because it has a lot of those pointers that a lot of Gothic houses have. Like, they have a lot of these sorts of crossings. I like crisscross patterns on the top parts usually. Not so much in the actual houses, like the walls, since the walls were it would be very expensive to do the houses completely that way. Also, it would make the houses look. I would say that would have made the houses look, boring. I think this is what we are gonna use. I think the spruce is better than the oak. Yeah. Also, I am a huge fan of spruce, just in general. I like spruce. It's one of the best ones out of all the woods. And if you say anything else, you are either lying to me or lying to yourself. Because it's the truth. I would say I use the most, like out of all of them, like out of all the woods, it's either birch, which I know, interesting choice, but birch or spruce is one of the like main components that I usually use. Because then again, like if we go like more cuter, more lighter, simpler building style, birch works better on them. Why? Because birch is very light colored. And then if you mix birch with if you mix birch and what is it called? God damn it. Birch and the concrete, like colored concrete, like pink concrete, etc. It's gonna create this almost like a, how would I describe it? Almost like a cotton candy feel into the house because it's so light. And usually, like if you're thinking about light colors, you are thinking about things that are very much don't have colors at all. Why do I have this here? Oh, okay, now I know. Whoops, okay. Let's just ignore that I forgot what I was building. Anyways, as I was explaining, why do I not have anything here? Why am I such a mess when I'm building? Where was I? Right, as I was saying, if I want to make the house look softer, then I definitely recommend using like cotton candy also. It's a good one good explanation, which is then pinkish colors, but don't go too neon. Okay, then it's gonna start looking more like punk rock. Like if you go too neon color, then you're going to be left with more punk rock than, you know, cute. Even though, I mean, I suppose punk rock could be in certain way cute. I mean, I suppose it could be, like, depending on how you would look at it, I suppose it could technically be cute. Not in the most traditional way though, but you know, that's besides the point. That is close enough. And then we finish it off with 2 layers. Okay, here's the thing. If you want to make the house so the roof is tilting inside and you want the ledge, so here's what I was thinking, and I shall explain it while I go. And also I will explain why we need double layers. Hold on, where's the slabs? Where's the slabs? Slabs. There we go. So this is what I mean when I say you need to have double. So let me explain. Hold on, because I want this to start from here basically. I want there to be edge, and I want the edge to go all the way around. Which is why usually I have double layers of this, because it gets covered up. So what I mean by that is, if we have a double layer, we can have then full block here, and they go lower. That way we can hang lights from here. Like we can have lighting here. Or if we want to make even more awkward trimming on the ceiling, we can have something like this going all the way around the house. Again, we need doubles. But then again, do we want to make that, or do we want to make it more simple? Because if we do want to make it more simple, then we could technically use just 1 layer. And hold on, do something like this. And then it goes inwards from here. But then the roof is gonna look like this. Hold on, bam. So that's gonna be the shape of the roof. Do we like that idea? Or do we double it? Because then the trimming would go something like this, right? On the outside. Hold on, I do know it's not finished yet, okay? Do not jump up to conclusions. But then it's gonna start doing this instead. So it's not gonna be very traditional. Which I mean, the house doesn't have to be that traditional, does it? But I don't know if I like this shape that much, to be honest. Having more of those details on the roof is kinda important if you're making a Gothic era house as well, because they did have a lot of details, especially on the roofs. Like the roofs especially usually had a lot of details. They were like the most detailed part of the houses. If you've never seen one, I recommend checking out. Because usually the roof is one of the most detailed parts in Gothic era houses. And also, just in general, I usually do like the finishing touches. But then again, do we want to make the house that way? Also, I just remembered. This is too low. I just realized this is too low. I was making this taller. Why did I forget that halfway done? Well, we are not yet done, so I guess it's not a big mistake. Just a tiny one. Also due to the fact that I want to make the roof levels different in this one and then on the middle part as well. I want them to be sort of like complete opposites of each other while simultaneously looking similar-ish. I think that's good. That's enough. I don't think we need more height. Because we're gonna have the double layers of the note blocks as well. So it's still gonna go higher. But if we go too high, then it's gonna start looking awkward, isn't it? Okay, hold on. How many blocks up? 2 and then notes. So from the notes we go to from note blocks 2, right? From note blocks 2 and then note block. Okay, so note block. From the note block 2 up and then a note block. Okay, perfect. Now they are the same height. The next question is though, since we don't really need to make them the same height, do we want one of the towers, like on the side, to be like lower than the other one? But I suppose if it's too low, then again it could create that awkward shape, like, you know. But then again, if this wasn't 2, but it was like 1 instead, and then the note block, it could create that more of that tower look. Okay, let's try it. I mean, what do we have to lose? Time? That's about it. Thank you, I know. That's such a good observation. Also, due to the fact that we do still need to double layer it, I do think this is a good idea. Oh, actually. Do you know what I was just thinking? What if instead, the middle part wasn't double layered? So the middle part would have like more rounder finish. Oh gosh. On the finishing, like on the roof, so how do I explain this? I feel like I'm getting stuck on my words. But here's what I was thinking. So what if instead, the note blocks in between would have this trimming, and then in this part, we would have the double note block, right? Because now we can do this. Hold on everyone. Hold the judgment. What if we were to have this kind of a trimming here instead? So we do have the double note block trimming, but it would, again, we would have more detail to close it up. What do you say? What do you think? Because I think this could look cool. if we were to have something like this as a trimming on this side and then different on here, I just think it could look cool. And also, what do we have to lose? Time. Again, we don't care. That we can always try again. And also, we can always take this down and then do it again if we don't like it at the end, right? We can always tear down the building and just do it again. That is all that there is. Also, should we and could we have used something else than note blocks indoors? Yes. Did we? No. But also, I do like the note block finishing on the building, to be quite frankly honest, on the indoors, because it doesn't really matter, I suppose, so much what the doubling is. So technically you could use whatever, it wouldn't matter. Depends on what do you see as important, but I do recommend using the same block, just in case you end up not wanting it to be doubled. It's easier to see where the roof starts. But then again, it's just what do you like, basically. It's just a liking. It's basically what you like, do that. If you like to do it this way, then do it this way. If you like to do it the other way, then do it the other way. Building doesn't have rules, I suppose. I mean, I suppose it depends on how you see rules. But, you know, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It does not have to be that. This is what I mean by the double. Because now it's gonna create that like mushroom-like feel. Like mushroom, more like a rounder mushroom shape on the roof, instead of having like very partially rounding shape, I would say. But more flat. Like it's gonna look flatter in between. If we don't do the double layering, it's gonna look flatter. The whole building would look just a little bit more flat. But now, instead of having flat roof, we're gonna have a lot of almost like, I would say almost like a mushroom shape on the actual building, because it creates a lot of natural curves, as you can see. And if we keep layering, this is gonna start turning more and more into like, if we were to have bigger house, you could see the actual like layering take place, and you could see the more mushroom shape. Like if we were to have more, how would I describe it? Best. Let me think. Like if this was the same size as that is, I think you would see the mushroom shape of the roof better, since it does have the natural curve. Says it's going more like a round, but it's not just a flip. It's not just a normal edge, which usually creates the flat shape. If you're thinking about like making a roof and you want the roof to be very much sharp shape, then I recommend this style. Since this style usually creates the little ledge, as you can see, like we have the edge. It's basically we have a starting point and ending point. We don't have like double layers that go inwards on the roof, creating that round shape that we have over there. Okay? Because the double layering is what creates the round shape. It's basically like an illusion that tricks your eye to believe that it's rounder than what it is, actually. It's, how would I describe it? I suppose illusion is one way to describe it, even though it's basically not. Since you are technically creating a round shape while simultaneously taking the round shape and throwing it into the trash. But usually this one makes it look a lot more flatter than the other one. You will see the effect fully soon. Once I have this roof done, I won't make the other tower before, so you can see what I mean by the flat shape. Because it's a lot more flatter, like it usually is. And it comes from the edge. it definitely is purely the edge of the house's roof that creates these little effects that tricks your eye into believing that it's a round shape even though it's not, and it doesn't have that. As you can see, now we just layer this up a little bit more, so we have the same amount of layers than the other one does. Otherwise it's just gonna look flat due to the fact that, you know, it doesn't have as much layers as the other one does. Because that is also one way to do it. Because it usually, like, this helps. Okay, as you can see, the round shape, if this was the same size as this one, you would see the ledge more. But you can't really see it. But you can see the idea of this being more rounder shape than this one, which creates this little, almost like an arrow shape, because the tower is extremely small. The tower is extremely small, which is why it looks like an arrow, almost. But yeah, that's just a cool little trick to trick your eye into believing something is more round than what it actually is while you're building. I don't know if it works while the building is like huge. Like, let's say it would be 10 times this size. I don't know if it still works. If the same trick works then too. But for some reason I doubt it does. Because the more shape, like more the size you have, the more you have to shape it with like blocks. So also why I don't think it works if the size were to be bigger than this. I doubt it would work, like the trick would work then. Because there's a lot of tricks that only work when you're building like a smaller size building. Some of these tricks that I've learned wouldn't work at all in a bigger build. Like if this was a bigger build, they would not work. Let's say, well, you guys have seen the castle. Castle is like a huge for me. Like for my build, castle is like huge. Like it's huge. I usually don't build that size, but that for that size, this trick would not work because I've tried. I tried this trick on the castle, and it doesn't work, unfortunately. As you could see on the roof of the castle, if you have seen the castle, of course. If you haven't seen the castle yet, then you don't know. But basically, I tried the trick on the castle. It does create sort of rounder shape on the outer side, but it does create some problems when you go indoors of the castle, because it does make it uneven shape and the sides are not uneven. So yeah, it wasn't perfect idea for that particular build, which is why I am claiming to say that I don't think this trick would work if this was a bigger size. If the towers were bigger size, I don't think it would work. I am inclined to believe that this trick would not work if your house was bigger, due to that fact. Okay, now we cover up the ceiling. I want to cover it up for this now, but since I have this here, I now know that I can have a sea lantern. Why do I keep getting new names for things? Sea thingies. Not ceiling. It's not even a sea. I don't think the word has a C in it, does it? Ceiling feature. I'm just gonna call it ceiling feature. You're welcome. That's what it is now. I don't think that was originally the idea of the actual lighting system. I don't think this. What the fuck is it called? Now it's bothering me. What is it called when it's on the ceiling? Roof thing? No. Why can I not remember the name? Ceiling thing. What the fuck is it called? The thing that hangs from the ceiling. Why the fuck do I not have a name for it? Holy shit. Okay, I'm just gonna call it... What the fuck would I even call it? Huh. Okay, what are they called? It's the roof thingy, the ceiling thingy, the lantern thingy, the hanging thingy. That's what it's called now? You're welcome. If it wasn't before, now it is. Roof hanging thingy, that's the name. Yep, No questions, no questions. That is definitely how it is. I like the shape. Is it exactly the shape that I was hoping and looking? Not exactly, but I mean, it's cute still. It's not exactly what it was supposed to be, but you know, does it have to be exactly the way it was supposed to be? No. Would it have been nice if it was? Yes, certainly. But that's besides the point. Also, no doors. Apparently no doors on the here. That's cool. Wouldn't have wanted no doors. Doors are overrated in houses. Yep. Who would want a door in their house? That sounds dumb. I definitely... Actually, I could technically have a door. That is the dumbest looking fucking door I have ever seen. That is the ugliest door in the world. Okay, we're trimming it. We're trimming it because that's... I can't. My eyes, they're burning. I feel like I'm being punished by the door. The door is ugly. I can't. That is ugly as hell. Why? Why does these doors exist? Why do doors exist? Why? Why must doors? Why do doors? Okay, let's try this one instead. It's still quite ugly, but it's better than whatever the fuck this is. Okay? It's still better than whatever we came up with this one. Okay, holy shit. How am I this bad at placing doors? Oh, for crying out loud. See, it could be worse. I mean, it could be worse, not by a lot, but you know, I hate it. I tried to hold it. But that is the ugliest fucking door I have ever seen. Holy shit. I tried. I did try for a second. See, that makes the whole building look fucking stupid. I am sorry, but it does. The door just makes the whole house. And if you say anything else, you're either lying to me to make me feel better, or to yourself, and you're in denial. And I need you to stop being in denial. I need you to stop being in denial, okay? Because it's not helping me build this place. I would require you to stop being in denial. Because this house is not gonna build itself. All I'm gonna say, this house could... That is even more disgusting. No. What about something like this? What if I were not to see it at all? I mean, I would see it still. Quite frankly, I think I would still see it. I'm in pain. I don't like the fact that I maybe may have had to do 4 instead of 2. You know, you live, you learn. You live, you learn, you know? You make a mistake, and then you cry about it. Thank you, that's how it works. I used the wrong wood. They are two same. They look exactly the same. Stripes spruce, I think it's this one instead. These two look exactly the fucking same. And if you say anything else, you're lying. Quite literally, you are lying. You can't tell me otherwise. Okay, what about if we try to fix it like this? Oh, hold on, I can't even do it here. What about something like this? Yeah, no. Yeah, no, this is still the problem. The problem isn't so much this side as it is this side, and well, you know, it's so much more so this side, you know? If I could fix this, that side is fine. Like, this side, completely fine, nothing wrong with it. It looks fine. This looks like the house is fucking broken. Okay, you know what? You know what? What if it's like this? Okay, I'm just gonna make it different. Fuck it. Fuck it, I hate doors. Fuck it, we're going to build this house differently. I hate building, but at the same time I love it. I still wouldn't change it for anything else, so you know. I hate this building. Also, how the fuck did I break the house already? God damn it. Okay. We're just gonna fix this. It looks better still. It's still like, it looks better. At least it's like, even though it looks ugly as, like, it looks ugly. But at least it's like, it's same. It's the same. Same way ugly. Like, it's still disgusting. Don't get me wrong. The house is, interesting. At least it's interesting same way. So it's not that bad. I hate everything about this house. That is usually not a good sign. That usually means something is wrong with the build, and whatever the fuck you're trying, do something else. If you don't like what you're building, then I recommend either changing completely, abandon your build, or start all over. And I usually do the first one, abandon everything and just build somewhere else. Why? Because it's easier than taking down the building that you have already built. Should I? Probably yes. I mean, it seems like it would be nice to take down builds that you started and never finished, but that's boring. Who does that? That is boring? Why would I do it? I don't think these need to exist, because we do, the houses are connecting from upstairs, so they don't technically need to connect them that way. Okay, that's better. Trimming helps. Trimming is usually always a good starting point for whenever you hate the building. Especially if the way you're hating your building is technically just like the house. Not so much the house, but more so the roof. Then usually just fix the trimming. The trimming usually helps a lot. Like you can see, now I don't hate it as much. Now I hate it like 50%, which is like 50% less than I hated it before, which is a good starting point. Now that's a good start, right? That's a place to start hating on your build. I just hate it like halfly the amount that I hated it before. Like, as long as I don't hate it fully. What if I do this? I did say this is gonna make it look heavy, which it does. But since the roof is extremely heavy, doesn't matter, is the question. Like, doesn't matter if this looks heavy, since the whole building is gonna look heavy. Any way else, the house is still looking heavy. So does it matter if the trimming also looks heavy? Because we do need some sort of trimming here. Actually, I take it back. Actually, I take everything that I said about this building back. Why is this way? Why am I this kind of a builder? Why do I break everything that I build? Why did I break this building? There we go. Okay, yeah. Yep, that helps. You can lie to me that that doesn't look already better. And now, we do this, so we kind of like... how would I describe it? Kind of make it look like it was supposed to look top-heavy. Like the building was supposed to look like it's dangling on the air. I mean, there is no way out of it. It's already looking like it has too much shit on it. We can't get away from that. Okay, we just can't. It's top-heavy building and that's it. We can't do shit about it. We could try to fix it by making the foundation heavier as well. But then it's not gonna look like a beach house as much as this does. Even though this technically doesn't look that much like a beach house either. To be quite frankly honest, I don't think it looks like a beach house. Which, I mean, at the same time, it was supposed to. But I'm gonna pretend like it didn't. That's gonna fix the problem. You know, you fake it till you make it. That's how we do this building. Why? Because I hate almost everything about the building, so I'm just gonna pretend like I don't. Which, it sounds worse than it is. Can I add, what is it called? Ladders? Can I add ladders here? Because then if I can add ladders on this, it should make it fine. No. Because I don't know if I want... I mean, I suppose technically we could use them... What is it called? What are they called? Chains? Chain trick? Technically? The chain tricks is basically just chains and then you add the ladders on top of the chains. But here's the problem. This is gonna be then higher up a little bit, and if you're standing here, you're gonna have to crouch to get into the house, right? And I'm not too sure if I want to crouch when I'm going in my house. I don't know how much I want to crouch when I'm trying to enter my house. Quite frankly, I don't know if I want to crouch to get into my house. That seems like an unnecessary extra layer of shit to do before you can get into your own house. That seems like a little bit unnecessary amount of shit to do to get into a house. All I'm gonna say is that seems like an unnecessary amount of things to do to enter a house. You know, I'm gonna just pretend like that it doesn't bother me, even though it does, and does heavily bother me that it looks like that, but we're gonna just, you know, say that it doesn't, and then pretend like it doesn't, even though it does. I was not supposed to add windows here, but I'm just gonna do it now. Why? Because I already started, and I'm too lazy to go back now. I am just way too lazy to do it backwards. You know, we all got shit to do. I ain't about making the houses double the time. That just doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. There we go. Okay, now we have windows as well. It still looks kind of top heavy, to be honest. It do be needing something. But since we are here, we could add... Actually, no. No. We need it here. And I'm gonna add it from here. That seems like a perfect spot. Do you know what we're missing, chat? If you do not, well, do you know what most cottages have? A chimney. Exactly. You're so smart. We need a chimney. Now, what kind of a chimney do we want? Now, that's a good, excellent question. You're on top of your things. Good job. What kind of a chimney do we want? Now, that is a excellent question. I do not know. I am thinking though. Even though this is a Gothic house, okay? We're still keeping that idea. We're still going on with that. But is this too much? Like, I feel like this could, like, this is a hit or miss situation, because it does have a lot of details. Which is why it's gonna heavily be hit or miss. But due to the fact that we also don't have much details anywhere, is it too much details? Is the secondary question that we need to ask ourselves. I feel like it's not. I'm gonna be fully honest, I think that is not too much details if the chimney were to be made out of this. I will not try to pronounce that because it sounds exactly the same as the other one. So I'm just gonna call it pretty blocks. Thank you, that is what it is. It's a shiny black stone now. It's the shiny black stone. Thank you. Because I don't know how to pronounce this. Who the fuck knows how to pronounce this? No one, thank you. Exactly. Which is why it is now a pretty black stone. Thank you. Also, I don't think that chimney is even too much. Actually, I think it's just enough. Like, I think it gives it that extra little detail, because the inside of that particular part is then going to have the kitchen, which is gonna have the full ceiling. And then I think that is going to actually be kinda close to the spot where we're going to have the actual, what is it called? I was gonna call it oven. I know, I thought I learned the lesson of not calling it an oven. Furnace, thank you. Furnace. I think that's actually kind of close to the placement of the actual furnaces, because we're gonna have furnaces that go all the way to the ceiling. Why? Because I'm feeling lazy and don't want to make cabinets. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I think that's a good idea. I like the shape, but the foundation looks too heavy for the sticks that we have. I feel like the foundation is just, it's too top heavy. What about if we were to make exceptions? Here and here. Let's say we were to make an exception. How bad would this look? Because I feel like we need to make some exceptions. Just saying. There needs to be things that have been changed. Because this is too much and too little at the same time. How is that possible? I do not know either, but it looks like the whole house is gonna come down. Unless it gets more support. Now see, that is still a bit of a problem. Actually, since we are making a Gothic house, we could technically trim it a little bit more. Because I do like how the parts where we have like these parts. I like the tower, like the tiny towers, I like them, they look fine. It is just this part that makes me wanna cry. Okay, yeah. It's a small ass detail. Like, it doesn't literally make any like difference basically. But see how much adding just the chain in between changes the whole, like, how the fuck that looks, right? small details. It's still top heavy, but I feel like it still has that like light breeze on it, which is what we need and want and like. Thank you. We do be needing a light breeze into the house because it's, after all, it's a beach house. Oh. Why are you invading my house? Why are you invading my house? You are invading my beachfront, and I shall get rid of you. Why? Because this is my beach. Fuck off. My beach? Thank you. Bye bye. Now, back to what I was saying. It doesn't really look as much like a beach house than it probably should. Taking consideration it is a beach house. Thank you. But does it have that gothic feel? I do think so. Even though I do think it's more gothic, like gothic score meets gothic finishes than it is goth meets beach. If you catch what I'm saying, because like goth has a lot more details. I don't think this building has enough details in order to be called that much a gothic, even though the color scheme is from that era. But yeah. I am using my brain function that doesn't exist. Thank you very much. I am trying to figure out something. Maybe that's fine. We'll leave it the outside as it is, and then we come back to it if we want to still finish it for somehow. Like if we're like, bam, we need more details, then we come back to it, okay? That's what we're doing. Let's just add a couple of lights here, because it's gonna be quite dark out here. So let's just add a couple lanterns here and there, just so we can have just a tiny bit more, you know, lights and shit, because we do not have any, and that doesn't seem nice. Hold on everyone, hold the judgment. Do not judge the building yet. The building isn't done yet. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, there we go. Now we have a little bit more lights. I love the lanterns. The lanterns are one of the best looking like lighting systems in the game. If you say anything else, you are literally lying. The lanterns just looks extremely nice. It got that like 3D look to it, which is, I love that. I loved it almost like 3D textures that some of the actual Minecraft stuff has. I don't know, I'm nerd for all the 3D shit, okay? I am a nerd for all 3D stuff. Why? Because I love it too much. And also the fact that I know for a fact how much time and effort, even though the like textures are the same from all sides, I can tell you that making this, even though it's simple, probably took time, which is awesome. I love it. I love 3D simple things, which is why I like lanterns. Also, it's not as much of a block shape, even though it's technically like made out of all tiny blocks. If you watch it, like if as you can see, it's made out of blocks, but like tiny ones, which makes it even more cooler. Thank you. Because it's tiny blocks. I wish we could use tiny blocks. Also, like a building. That would be awesome. Imagine making a house, but just using extremely tiny, like the size of this, like size of the lantern, like blocks, like that sized blocks. You would make a house that is more so this size. That would be awesome. If we can have that, please, I would want that. Like, that would be so cool. Imagine how much details you could make into a house if the house were to be made out of such a small blocks. I mean, technically you could do it like in a bigger size, but what's the fucking fun in that? Yeah, because then it's gonna be a huge house. That would definitely take away from the fact that it was supposed to be a small, cramped one. Because if we were to make, let's assume that we would want like the graphics to be the size of this, like the little plug, right? It would take a lot of space. Because you know, as you can see, the lantern, it's like 1/4. No, 1/6. I think that's like 8 times the plug that we have here, right? No, it's more. Actually, hold on. How many? Technically, that's 2 lanterns, 3 lanterns. 3 times 2, 4, 6. 2 times 6. 12-ish. I am so bad at math. 12, 14, 15, 16, I think 16. I am so bad at this. I don't do math. But it would be huge, which is why it won't happen. But it would be cool if there was a mod or just some way to make a tiny ass house of so many blocks. I know I am getting distracted again. I am way too easily distracted. I have noticed. I am distracted. I shall go back to building. I will go back to building because I am distracted once again. This is how easy it is to distract me from the fact that I'm making a house. Okay, the outside. Does the outside need anything else? What do we think? Do we think we still need to add something to the outside of the house? Okay, don't look at the beach. The beach is ugly. The beach is not. It's just there to be a beach. Okay? And also, if we have time, then we can terraform later. But now, for now, it's fine. I think this was the side we decided to have the, what is it called? A kitchen. Yep, this is a kitchen. Okay, let's go into our kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. Kitchen, meet everyone. Kitchen, this is, yep, perfect. I need some water, hold on everyone. I'll get some water, I'll be right back. Oh gosh, let's see. There we go. Okay. Now, I am thinking, okay, we'll do a full ceiling, well, wall, basically, here. Because I need more, I don't want to make a round-shaped kitchen. It just doesn't sound fun, and also unpractical. Which is why we're gonna do this, and we're gonna cover up this ceiling wall. It's a wall, not a ceiling. You get the point. Also, one of the sides is gonna have all of, what is it called? Why did I have this bad blackout? Storage! God damn it, I got a biggest blackout in history. Holy shit. Okay, I blacked out. I have no idea why, but I blacked out. I have no idea what the fuck that was about. But you know, we got here. At least in the end, all is well, I suppose. Now, why do I keep breaking shit? I keep breaking the walls and then the floors and then the walls and then the floors and then everything gets broken, and that's not nice. Thank you. Now we just need ovens, no furnaces, thank you. Found it in the end. I got the right word, which is nice. Where do I have furnaces? There we go. Perfect. Maybe a smoker would be nice to have. Do we want... Okay, here's the next question. Do we want a water source? like a kitchen water source? Or do we want a cutting table? Because we can't have both. Well, technically, we could have a tiny table here, and we're going to have a table here. Like, this is going to become a table at some point, once we get there. But this is gonna be basically the table, right? We are going to make table like this. Bam, bam, bam. Probably some other kind of seats, but like, you see the point. This is gonna be the kitchen table. Ah. Or do we want it on this side? Both of them are perfectly fine. But I was thinking that side would be nice, because then you can sit down and look outside the window while you're eating, right? And that just seems like a nice thing to do. Like, you could watch out the window while you're eating. That's why I was thinking this side instead of this side. You see the dilemma we have. Because then the other side is going to have more storage. Because this is going to be the only room that has any storage. That's why. Yep. I know it sounds interesting, but you know, we can make it work. I can make it work. You know, even if this is the only room, based on just how much storage we have here, I was thinking either A, we make a hanging wall ceiling thingy here, or we make the traditional, just the barrels, just the traditional barrel wall. Like, the traditional barrel walls are not bad idea either. I mean, they work, sort of. I mean, they're not the nicest looking walls, but you know, they do their job. They do be doing their job still, though. So either the barrel wall, or we make a hanging wall, which is basically the same idea, but just the barrels are hanging, which is kind of. I thought that was kind of obvious, but you know. Besides the point. We do be doing it this way now. Why I could have done this easier by a lot, but you know. What's the fun in that? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me add this. Change. Then this is the secondary option. So hanging barrels. Hanging barrels are the second option. Hanging barrels or a barrel wall. Both of those cases do have the same amount of barrels, estimately. Barrel wall does have more space, since the parts that are now... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why don't I do them both? Why don't I make the barrel wall look like a hanging wall? I take it back. I take it back. I will mix them up. I take the question back. You are not allowed to affect the conversation. The barrel wall shall be the hanging wall. Why didn't I think about this before? Huh. Interesting. Well, I want to see how this looks. Because this can look either good or extremely bad. But I mean, I feel like this would be a fun idea. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, we're doing the hanging barrel wall. I've never done that before, which is in itself kind of a crazy and cool idea. Because I have never done a hanging barrel wall. I've just done hanging wall or just the barrel wall. But never really a mixed up barrel hanging wall. Which is interesting, to say the least. Now that I'm thinking about the roof, I might want to change it, actually. But let's decorate this place before we jump into doing anything else. We do need some lights. Okay, we're out of lighting. And I can't make the carpet lights here. Why? Because there is no double floor. which we could technically have fixed, but I didn't. So here we are. Technically, we could have fixed it very easily, but it's too late now. Well, at least we can pretend like it is. So let's not get attached to that idea. Shall we? I need what is it called? Bone meal? I suppose so. I was thinking here, I will change the ceiling light because I don't like how it looks at all right now. Well, I'm gonna change it, which is when I probably will like it. Because why else would I change it? If I were to not like it, then either. Doesn't make any sense. If you ask from me, doesn't make sense. Also, wrong wood. Wrong wood. Wrong wood. Why did I use different shades of wood? Downstairs and upstairs. Why? Sometimes I wonder what is going on. And then I look at my builds and I'm like, oh. Well, yep, that makes sense. Yep. Okay, let's add some more lights. Okay. Some more lighting. Why? Because we do be needing more lights. And hanging lights are always a good option. Especially if you need to hide at the seams of the actual lighting system. A little bit. Take in consideration it's an ugliest fucking lighting that I've done in a hot while. I hate it. I thought that was kind of obvious due to the fact that, you know, I was dissing on it kind of hard. There we go. That's it's there. I feel like I'm getting worse than just like pretending like I like something done. Like I'm getting worse than just pretending like I do like it. And then I just end up hating it even more. Because I'm trying to pretend like I don't hate it as much as I do. So then I end up hating it even more. Because I'm trying to not hate it. Which is usually not the best, probably, idea to hate on your own builds. But we just, you know, testing some new stuff. Testing different ways to build. That is good enough. We can't do this corner, because if we put this here, then we're blocking basically one seat off. Because this is gonna be the seat. Which is why we can't have this there. Because we need to block this off. Because this is gonna be a seat. Yeah. You know, sometimes I wonder if I should just, like, you know, learn to shut up at some point and then just, you know, stay quiet for a second. Today is one of those. Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, if it was to make sense, then it would be fine, but it doesn't. Which is why that is questionable decision. Now, what kind of a table do we want to make? Do we want to go traditional? Which would be just, you know, this. But I kind of want to make a one block, so the actual seat is more so the shape, right? Then it would be, so it's more so this shape, right? Because this is an option, but then you can't see the window, which is why I want it to maybe be higher, just a little bit. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is actually not the worst idea for a table at all. Actually, not even that much of a bad idea. What if this were to be the table and then we had something like this under? Do we want under or on top? That is the next question. Under or top? Because actually that's kind of cool. That is kind of a cool table. And a seat. If it were to be a seat, I feel like it needs a seat thingies. seat cushions. I think they're called. Are they called cushions? I'm not sure. Pillows. Ass pillows. We're calling them ass pillows now. Why? Because I don't know the English word. So they're called ass pillows now. You're welcome. I'll leave you thinking about that one. I don't know the actual word. I am sorry, I don't know the real word. So that's why they are called now ass cushions. That's their name. Why? Because English is hard and I don't want to try it. English is too hard and I don't have the brain functioning powers to try to actually come up with the real English word. You are welcome. That is awesome. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, should we make a what are they called? The little thing is. The little thing is. The little thing is. I feel like my explanations just get increasingly worse every time I try to explain something. The little thing is. This little thing is. These are the little thing is that I was trying to explain. The little thing is. Shelves. That's the fucking word. Shelf. Found it. It's a shelf. Why is English so hard today? Why? Shelf. That is. I knew the English word. Yep. Yep. Totally. Yep. English is my second language. Is it obvious? Okay, what do we want to add into the shelves now that we have them and I do have the word for it? Oh gosh. Occasionally I just wonder who just like why English? Today is one of those days when I just think about like why English? Why out of all out of all of them, why English? English equals sadness. Apparently don't know any of the words. Shelf. I don't know why I forgot what shelves are. Okay, let's not worry about the fact that shelf just became a little thingy. I feel like everything becomes a little thingy after I don't know what they are called. Everything just becomes a little thingy. We don't need to think about it too much. Why? Because English, that is explaining itself fully. That is cool. Okay, that should have something else than just the lights, because then we are just storing lights. And that doesn't make even any goddamn sense. Why would we have so much storage space for just lights? You know? That just doesn't even make any sense. We should not just store lighting. That seems unnecessary, if you ask from me. But also, okay, shelves are done. The little thingies are done. Storage system, little thing is done. Table, I feel like the table is like... I feel like we could do better than this. For some weird reason, I feel like we could do better than this. Whatever this is trying to be. Like, but is it fine enough so I can leave it and never look back? And never feel bad about leaving it? Because that's the real question. Not so much is it fine. Because I know it is not. But is it, oh shit, right, we can't have this the same time as this is here. Okay. Which then means the eggs are leaving. The eggs, they are leaving. Do not look at me while I'm... Actually, we can maybe change this. Hold on. Hold on. Can I crouch here? Yes, I can. Now we have a brewing stand. There we go. Okay, that's better actually. I like that more than having just random lights everywhere. Back to the problem. We haven't still solved the real problem that in hand that we had before, which is the this one. Table. That's the word. There we go. We are learning. It's table. Thank you. I knew that. Definitely. I did not hesitate on that one. That definitely. Okay, tables. Yep. I forgot almost the English word for it again. I feel like I'm just messing up all the English words today. Is that a bad thing? No. Will I still do it? Yeah. What do I want the table to be made of? Actually, I have an idea. What would this look like? Do not judge it until it's been actually built. Okay, do we like this more than we like the chains? Because if we have this, we could change the table and what it's made out of. Hold on. Where do we have chains? Chains. There we go. So if we were to make it this, let's not use the dark oak, but instead we use this, because then it's more similar to the, you know. I tried the English word. Okay, I tried to find the English word for this. Sabi thing. I'm calling it the Sabi thing. What the fuck is that? Lightning rod. That's... Yep. Lightning rods. The English word. Why is English so hard today? Okay, let's... I don't know. Sabi thing. Okay, let's just move on we'll move on from the fact that I don't know what the fuck this is called in English. So, do we like the lightning rod more? Or, hold on, I could have them both here simultaneously. That way we could compare them. Okay, which side do we want more? The chain one? Or the lightning rod? Because both of them work in their own way. And both of them don't work in their own way. Both of them look bad, but good at the same time. Which creates the problem again. Of not knowing what the fuck I want. Meanwhile, while we're thinking about that, why don't we add a painting here? That way it's a little bit lighter here. It just looked a little scuffed. Like it looked like it was missing something still. We do be having a carpet, so you know, halfway there. Okay, back to the problem. We're zooming in. Okay, we're zooming in. Because otherwise this is gonna be a day of ADHD. One option is this. We could mix these up. And I don't really like the chain with the jungle. Thank you. I don't like the chain with the jungle. But I don't really know if I like the lightning rod with the actual spruce. I think these are the options. Number 1 or number 2. Number 1 is jungle wood with lightning rods, or number 2, which is the chains with the spruce. I am debating. Because, like, I like them both equally, while simultaneously hating both of them equally. Which is why I have a problem. What if we were not to have anything under? Would that look dumb or okay? Let's see. If we don't have anything under, we could do a lower table, which then allows us to put stuff on it. But do we want to do a table out of spruce or out of jungle wood? Because jungle wood could look good too. Spruce maybe mixes in to the building a little bit. Which is like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. Let's just do this table. Fuck it, this is gonna be the table. I have no idea. I have no idea which one looks better, so fuck it, this is how it is gonna be now. I don't know. I have to make decisions, and I don't know the answers for these decisions. Okay, I don't like it. Too many decisions, and I don't know the answers for. Okay, fuck it. That's the table now. Kitchen done. This is the kitchen now. But okay. Library is the next room. Welcome to the library. Also the entrance of the house. Because this is how you this is how and where you enter the actual house, right? So ta-da, welcome. Welcome everyone to the library. The first thing we need, obviously, books. Seems kind of, you know, it seems obvious, but at the same time, is it though? That's the next question. I want floor to ceiling the books. Thank you. I don't know why I keep losing the word bookshelf. It seems like I shouldn't, but at the same time, like, there we go again. Okay, now let's shape the bookshelf a little bit like that. Okay. We do be needing more bookshelves, but this time let's start making, like, I don't know, some kind of patterns. We want to leave this open completely, unless we want something going on top of it, like this. Because this is also very much an option. We could do bookshelves like this, but I don't know if this will look as good, though. Because then we would have to go all the way around. But would it matter if the whole bookshelf, whole library were to be made out of books? Because I mean, it's a library, so technically it wouldn't matter if it was fully made out of bookshelves. But I just feel like this is like a burst of books. Like, I feel like this might be like going over top. It's like just like a little bit, like, it's screaming too many things at once. Like, you saw a book place and you were like, huh, I'm gonna make that bad. Like, you looked at books and you just went, huh, I could make that look terrible. And then this happened. Oh, also, we have lost our foundation. See, now I'm just like, I'm getting like, what is it called? Fear of small spaces. I don't know the English word for it. I'm gonna be fully honest. I have no idea what the English word for it is. But fear of small spaces, like claustrophobia, that's the word. Claustrophobia. Claustrophobic about this place. Like, look at, like, this is the entrance. I'm getting claustrophobia by just entering this room. See what I mean? So that's a bit of a problem. Then if we knock these down, it's like it's still giving me claustrophobia by entering. Like, I feel like it's the side parts. Like, I feel like these are too much. Like, I'm getting claustrophobic by just looking at this place. I totally knew what the English word was. Yep. I feel like there's still too much. But at the same time, like, is this too much? Like, this is the entrance. We have to think about this from the entrance point. So this is how you enter the room. I don't want to feel claustrophobic when I'm getting indoors. See? What if we look at it from this angle? Okay, I mean this. We need to add something here, and then of course I feel like this needs that also needs something. Because now they are empty. Like, if we add the pillars here and here, then it's like claustrophobia all over again. But if we leave them like this, now it's empty. Like, the entrance is empty. It's never good enough. It's never good enough. I feel like that's just... Like, if there were to be, like, the bookshelves, now it's, like, getting claustrophobic, I feel like. But then if we don't have the bookshelves, it's empty. But now that we have the bookshelves, I feel like that's too much. It's, like, too heavy. Like, I feel claustrophobia again by entering the house. But if we don't have these, then it feels empty. I'm having the most interesting problem right now, which is if I add more, then it's claustrophobic. But if I don't add more, then it's empty. How do I fix a problem where the problem are the complete extreme ends? Like, the solutions are the complete extreme ends of each other. How do you fix that problem then? If we were to have, like, lightning rod, like a light source here, would that, like, soften it a little bit? Or do we get claustrophobic again? I feel like that lights up the place. Okay, that lights it up, but it gives it more details, which is, like, then taking away from the claustrophobia, but adding enough so it's not empty. But if we were to add more, does it just then become lightning rod, not lightning rod, end rod driven house? I usually don't like to use end items, because I want to keep them something you can do on survival quite fast. Like, I like to do belts that you can do survival, even if you are not that great at the game. Like, even if you are, like, just a starter in the game, you can still do the builds. Like, that's usually what I strive to do while I'm building. Which is why I usually don't really like that much using end rods and end city items either. Because, you know, most of the time, you know, some people don't really like going to the end cities and stuff. So, yeah, I respect that. I respect that. To the fact that I have never gone to the end either, I respect the hustle that to never go to the end. Which is why I usually like to keep it, so you can actually do the builds completely without ever going to the end. Because then, you know, I respect the hustle, you know? There we go. Then we add some, maybe greenery. Maybe green would make it better. Like, I feel like green could make it better. Because then, you know, it's not empty. But again, keeping it light, you know? Also, if we do be needing lights. Because we can't do the carpet trick here. So we need to get creative with all that stuff. So, yeah, okay, now I'm not getting claustrophobic. But I'm still thinking, is it too much? At least it's not claustrophobic, so that's a step up from the fact that we were claustrophobic when we walked in the house. Thank you. God damn it, English. Walked. Thank you. There's the word. There's the word. Thank you. God damn it. For fuck's sake, why is English so bad today? Why English? Why not something else? Why English? Why not, I don't know, Finnish? Then again, I do be talking a lot of Finnish lately, so yeah, okay, that makes sense. What about something like this? I feel like if we add more, then it's just gonna be, again, claustrophobic. We need to add items that are soft, breezy, maybe even covering up a little bit of the bookshelves, because I feel like the bookshelves, because they have a lot of details, like the bookshelves are very, very detailed. We need items that are taking away from that detail. And right now, Everything we're adding just adds more details. So we need items that take away like details from the actual bookshelves. So a little bit like covering up while simultaneously not covering it up as much. Do we want to make a cool banner, or do we just wanna get banner and move on? Cause I'm feeling like maybe even making the banner. Huh. We could technically, I mean, it could take a long time. Maybe we do just simple something small. I don't know, gradient or something. Let's just do gradient because that's the easiest and fastest thing to do. And also, it's a cool color. Cool colors and cool colors. Because if we use, here's the thing. Okay, the darker the color, the smaller the house. Which is also like why the house feels very claustrophobic if we don't have a lot of colors. Now, if we add colors, it's gonna make the house look bigger. Because less colors equals more darker, more smaller house. So if we were to make the house completely like bright colors, it would feel bigger than if we use blackstone completely. Because the more there is light colors, it brightens up the place, which makes the feeling that it is bigger than what it is. Thank you. I rest my case. And also because we have a really dark ceiling, says that we can't double layer this one. We can't double layer the ceiling because then we don't have any height. And we do need all the height we can get. This is very tiny. Which is why we don't even want to maybe hang any lanterns from the ceiling. Like, I want to leave the ceiling open as possible. That's the thing. Maybe like 1 or 2 lanterns here and there, but not more. There we go. Also, carpet could help. If we were to have... Hold on. What if we add a pink and then we were to have yellow that we have also in the banners on the carpet? Would that be too much pink and yellow? Or just enough? That is the next question. Because I do not know if this could work. Because as a gradient, it looks cool. Like as a gradient, it looks awesome. Why does that look like something? Why do I feel like this looks like something? Hold on. I just have a feeling like it looks like something. I don't... It looks like something. It's better than nothing. It still brightens up the place because it's lighter colors. So again, it brightens up the place. So that's a good thing. Also, we do be needing a doorbell. We do not have one yet. Ta-da! Doorbell. Actually, let's add it from there. Perfect. Now we have a doorbell. That cannot be shut down manually. So if that breaks, you can't just take the bell. Even better. I like the doorbell even more now. I am too evil. Okay, I am just evil today. That's not nice. Bam. A mannequin. Actually, I want it to be more sideways. Bam. Mannequin. You just need to drop it on the carpet. Actually, I'm not sure if you can do that on Java Edition. Okay, Java Editioners, don't ask me if that can be done on Java Edition, because I do not know. I don't know if you can drop it on the carpet that way. Or if you need the hopper, hopper. I don't know how to pronounce it. You're just welcome. The hopper dropper thingy. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's not a hopper, I don't think. It's the other one. I just don't know how to pronounce it in English. But you need that one a lot more on Java edition, I guess. In some things. Not all things. Most of them are easier to do, honestly, on Java. Besides the point. Okay, back to building. Before I lecture about the Java edition and Bedrock edition differences again. Because I feel like I have given that lecture so many times now that it's becoming more and more a problem. I just keep lecturing people about the differences, and then yeah. we need to do more progress. We need to progress more than just talk about Java edition and Bedrock edition differences. Okay, we do be having more things to discuss than just that. Like the fact that I don't know what the fuck I want to add into this building anymore. I am out of ideas and also out of space to put anything anywhere. And I don't have like half of the stuff that I was thinking I want to add here. Which again, not the greatest thing in the world, since, you know, we do be needing more stuff. Yay! I feel like I sound less and less impressed every time I build. I try. Oh god damn it. Okay, what's the next thing? I think this is fine for now. Let's add a book here. Let's add the little finishing detail, like the book and quilt. On here. Bam. Ta-da! Beautiful. I was gonna say something else, but I was like, don't say it. It's fine. Okay, that's cool. Now we have a little bit more details. Also, there is enough lights. The entrance give a lot of light, that's why. Huh. Okay, I like this idea. This is gonna be now the enchantment area. Then the last but not least is the crown and jewel of the house, aka the bedroom. The bedroom is the last thing we need to do indoors. How exciting! The last thing! Because now we have already like this. I don't know how much I want to do outside though. I'm not much of a terraforming person. Like, I don't really do that much terraforming, quite honestly. It's not as much my thing. Now since that we're here, since we have gathered here around this beautiful little tower, do we want to make 2 people bedroom, or do we want multiple people to be able to sleep in this bedroom? Because we have 2 options and no more than that. We do hanging, well, sort of hanging, but more so. Okay, I will just show because I feel like every time I try to explain this doesn't make sense. So 2 people bedroom, something like this, right? The simple, the usual, traditional, you know. Probably the other way around, to be honest, more so this way. We could even put it, why not against the window, also something like this, right? Secondary option is, one is gonna have bed here, then we do this, we add more beds, this way we can have multiple people sleeping here. We could have this slide, so this would have one of the sets of people's beds, and then this could be the second. That way we could have, I think we could have 6, 7 people here. I'm pretty sure. I think 6 is fine. 6. Why not more? We could have a little platform here. Technically, we could have a little platform. here. What about... Okay, hold the judgment. What if we were to have a little platform against the window? And we were to have... No. We need still storage space. We don't have anywhere for the storage. Yep, okay, these are the options. Either option A or option B. Double bed or 6 people bed. If we make a double bed, we could technically use all the space. We could maybe even create full ceilings. Full ceilings. Now, how were we to make it though? But if we were to make 6 people beds, it's gonna be cramped. Like, I feel like this could become a little bit like squeezed. Like, everything is squeezed in. Then one option, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why are we being so limited? We could technically fit 2 sets of 2s. We could make 4 people sleep here if we were to have double beds. Wait, did I have spruce? Yes. We could technically create a little loft here. Like, a little loft up here, which were to have a double bed. Like, somewhere here. I don't know, like here or something. And then have a loft. And then have another one here. That's an option. That's always an option. Should we do that? Because we could technically make a loft. Absolutely, a loft is always an option. Let's do a loft. You know, why the fuck not? Let's do a loft. You know, I haven't done a loft built in a while. Which, I mean, that's gonna be fun. Haven't done them yet, like in a long ass time. Now, what shape do we want for our loft to have? Because I was thinking something like this. And then this would be where the loft ends. Maybe entrance here. That way it's easy to climb. And bam. That would be the loft. I think that's cool. Let's go with that. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, now what do we want? Because now under the loft is gonna have... I don't know if I want to add it straightly under. I might even want to go here with the double bed. Maybe that's too close to the door actually. Because I don't know if you want to be facing the door. That is also the secondary problem. Because I don't know if I want this to be facing. One option is, of course, what if we were to have something like this instead on the loft? So it wouldn't be connected, but it would be connected, so this would be how you get up here. That would make sense, right? Let's do that instead. I mean, that makes still sense. It makes more sense than whatever the fuck we were doing before, right? Let's just go with that. So this is gonna have the stairs going up. But since we don't have enough space to make an actual staircase, because staircases take a fuck ton of like space to actually do, we're just gonna use ladders. Also very much and oftenly used on lofts. So that's cool. Cool detail. Now, I don't want the loft to be made out of the spruce, because the walls are made out of spruce. Does it make sense? But do I want it to be trapdoors either? Because trapdoors don't really... They are not the best looking thing. You know? All I'm saying, it doesn't look right. Because this is what it would look like, right? Actually, we could do that. We could leave it partially. So it's only partially made out of spruce. And then actually that could work. That will definitely work. I take it back. I know what I'm doing. I was doubting knowing what I'm doing for a hot second, but now I know what I'm doing again. I was doubting my ability to know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm no longer doubting it. I am no longer doubting the possible endings of this loft. Hold on. No, I need a way to stand here and crouch. There we go. That's gonna be the entrance. Now, bam, and you're in the loft. Also, that takes away the awkward shape here, right? Because now it looks structional. That's the word, structional. And the loft looks better because it's not taking as much space on the ceiling. So, double win, double win. Okay, let's get back to the loft because now the ceiling needs to be not this. Because right now the ceiling is a little bit problematic. There we go. And that's better. We can still make the huge ceiling lantern here as well. I mean, it's gonna look different. It's gonna look bad. Let's just do the traditional way. Traditional way is better for this build, I would say. So loft there. That's gonna be then the storage system slash seats. Because then the seating is gonna be the storage, and the storage is gonna be the seats. Thank you. We're gonna do a seating storage system. Because it makes sense. Yep, definitely, that's, yep, that makes sense. Now, the last question we have is how the fuck do we decorate this place? I have no idea. I honestly, also, we don't have any lights. Now upstairs, problem, yes. Fixable problem, also yes. End of the world, and not so much as it feels sometimes. It feels more so end of the world than it probably is. Just saying. There we go. Back up we go. And lights. Nope. Lights. Yay, we have lights. Let's go down from here also a little bit so we can have more lights. There it is. And lights. Woohoo! Lighting system. That's cool. That definitely needs a painting. That definitely needs a painting. Bam. Perfection. Can I add a painting? I get actually hold it. I have an idea. Hold it. Can I add this here? No, but what if this wasn't here at all? Because we have this. We do need this to be there. Still. Can I... Let's just do this. Hold on. Because this is gonna make it easier to actually shape it a little bit. There we go. Now we can add a little bit more shit in here. That's gonna make it easier. Because we do be needing space. Oh my god, this loft is awesome. I love this loft. I am a big fan of this loft. This loft is so cozy now. Even better. Oh my gosh. Okay, upstairs is done. Cool. Cool. Upstairs. See? The upstairs looks fine. Okay, the beds are... Why did I not just pick the color of the beds before I started to do, the end results, I should have probably decided the color of the beds before. I feel like that would have been just easier. Gray boring? Is gray a little boring? Is gray gonna be, boring? Maybe it's fine. White is definitely just boring as fuck. We don't need this boringness. This is boring? No. But do we want the same colored beds as upstairs has and then downstairs? Because they don't have to be the same. I don't think. But would it look better if they were the same? Is also one question we need to still reconsider. Would it be better if it was all the same? Because that's still one of those things we need to start thinking about. And that's the wrong color. Okay. Wrong wood. Wrong wood. There we go. There shall be lights. Bam. Lights we have. Perfection. Perfection. Now, what else do we need? Paintings. Paintings? That is definitely one of those things. Painting. That is the smallest painting. I feel like there isn't that many painting options. Like, Minecraft, please, we need more painting options. We definitely need a couple more paintings. I'm just gonna say it. There should be more paintings. I'm asking very nicely. I feel like there isn't that many paintings. It would be nice if there was. All I'm saying is, we do be needing more paintings. What if we do something like this? I don't really like the idea of having that. Nah. I don't like how it's looking, but better than nothing. Better than nothing. We're just gonna pretend like it's fine. Even if it's not, we're just gonna pretend like it is. That's still something about it bothers me. And I can't put my finger on it. I can't decide what it is that bothers me about this build. More. Right now, the fact that the double beds look a little awkward, or the fact that the loft looks even weirder. And I'm debating whether it is the loft or the double bed. That makes me wanna just, burn down the building. That's the problem. I have urge to burn down this whole building at the moment, and I don't know what is the thing in this building that makes me want to burn it down. Because there is so many things. There is just a lot of things that make me want to burn this house down. But which one of it is the thing that it is right now? Which one of those things that makes me want to burn down the house is the problem right now? Is the most asked question right in this instant, I would say. What makes me, details. We need details, but here's the thing. If we were to add more details, then it's gonna just look really cramped and small and it's gonna create that claustrophobia again, which we don't really want in the building. Okay, we don't want to cause claustrophobia in the house. Okay, that just doesn't seem like a good building strategy. It just doesn't seem like the most ideal, building strategy, just to create claustrophobia. So, that creates coziness. Candles are usually oftenly associated with softness and cozy and that sort of things. Thank you. I found the word. But we're back to the square one. What else? Usually the question is, do we have enough amethyst? Now, does this building still acquire amethyst? I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I should just ask myself the question, do I just need amethyst? Every time I'm questioning whether I need something in the building, I just ask myself, do I just need amethyst? Because I feel like that's the answer every time. It's just that I need more amethyst. Like today, I just needed amethyst. To complete the house, I just needed some amethyst. It has become more and more so a thing. That whenever I feel like there's just a little extra detail that is missing, it's usually amethyst. It's just usually a little bit more amethyst. The answer is the amethyst. Thank you. Also, I just realized I don't have a mushrooms on my head. That is interesting. Okay. I'm calling it. This is fine. The loft looks nice. I like the loft. The loft became a lot better than I expected it. I like this. It's a cozy little corner. The downstairs isn't bad either. It's very... well, fine. But I do like the shape. I like this. The house looks nice. Okay. Let's turn it into the day nighttime, shall we? It's nighttime! See how much nicer it looks when it's glowing under the slabs a little bit? That's what I mean, like it glows under the slabs. It's a soft light, which is nice. The glowing comes from the under. So let's take a last look. Let's take an assessment of the house. I like the chimney. The chimney is one of the best ones so far. I don't think I have used this material as a chimney before. Which is cool. I like that. I like that idea. The chimney is awesome. I also do like how the windows are all facing the little pool area. The pool is nice, you know? It's simple, but that wasn't really the main focus of the build anyway. I also like how it still looks like a beachfront house, even though it has that gothic like finishes, like the details and the shapes, which is super nice. And also the houses are kind of connected, so even if it's raining, you don't get really whether you're going from one house to another. Since there is a roof, there isn't really a water problem either, going in whichever direction you're going, which is cool. I like this. The little details were just helpful, like the little trimmings, because I think they did a lot and they create a lot of shape, which is exactly what we need. If we were to have more time, I would have probably done more with the actual outside. But for now, I think that's a fine thing. We don't really need to focus on the outside. So, we go in to the library. So the entrance and the library are the same house, basically. Because there's this basically made of 3 different houses. So, library entrance. Let's go to the kitchen, shall we? As you can see, there is a roof, so no water problem. Now, we're in the kitchen, which does have an interesting sorting system. I like this. I haven't done this design before. Like having like these kind of look like they're hanging from each other. I haven't done that before, but it looks super awesome. I should be doing it more later. Later as well, that's the word, thank you. And then the kitchen table, which is super easy and simple. I like that. Yeah, simple kitchen. Shall we go to the last room? The last room being the bedroom. And again, roof, no water problems, thank you. And there is a little seat here, which you can also look to the beach or to the bedroom. Also works as a storage system, which is cool. 2 beds here, and then 2 beds up here in the loft. I like the loft the most. Like the loft is the best part. honestly. And yeah, that's the tour of the house. Shall we go outside? For some reason, I feel like the shape and like the building itself, even though it's really awkward shapes, I like it a lot. Like, I like the design and how it looks. Also, here is what it looks from the upstairs. Well, atop of the actual place. Ta-da! Here's the whole building from the sky, in case you're wondering the design and the shapes. So it's basically made out of 3 circles. The 2 circles you see here are made out of 2 twos, basically. So it's a shape of 2 twos, 2 2 twos. So 2 on the foundation, 2 on the sides, and then 2 going sideways, and then 2 going sides and 2 going sideways. Basically, like 2 on here, 2 going this way, 2 going that way. It's not the same as the roof. The roof is bigger. The roof has ledges, which makes it look rounder. So don't get bothered. And then the foundation is 3 by 3s. So it's 3 going this way, 3 going sideways, and then 3. And both of those, what are they called? Towers are both 2 by 2s. Which we can see from the foundation if we go down here. So it's basically 2 by 2. So 2 here, 2 in between, then 2 by 2. Right? And then this is 3 by 3, I think. Yeah, so 3 in between, 3 in between. So that's the basic rule, which creates the round shape of the house. If you were to want to make it look even more rounder, and you didn't really care about the windows, you could create it by using either fences, which I don't recommend as much as walls. Want to make it even more rounder, like you want to make it extra round, then I recommend use the walls in between these parts and create an even more rounder shape, because the walls can create, so they kind of take away from the build and they create smoother lines when you're looking at it. As you can see, it takes away the hardness of the block because it's like kind of cutting it, which creates a smoother circle. So if we were to add more of this, as you can see, like it's smoothing the corner pieces. Like as you can see, this looks less rounder. And then if you add the walls, you get even more rounder shape without adding any size to the building. This is important because if you are making a tiny house, you obviously don't want to make a huge house just to make it more rounder, which you can then create by using walls in between. Fences don't round the shape, they do the opposite. So if you want to make the building rounder, do not use fences, because if you use fence instead, now it's creating even more angles. So don't use fences, it makes it look more box shape. If you want to make the house look round, use walls in between. If you are like thinking about making this house, but you were like, I think that it could be more rounder. Yes, I wanted to leave it as it is because, you know, time crunch, and also I like the design. But if you want to make it smoother, like more smoothly round shape, make it 1 block bigger, like in between. Like leave the between, because this is now 1. I think there is only 1 in between. Yes, there is. To do 2 in between. So as you can see, we have 1, but leave 2. That way you can have these more comfortably going around and you don't have a ledge problem. Okay? Then you leave 2 space in between the houses, that we have only 1 now. That way you can make the walls go around fully. But that's a one way to make it look rounder. And then if you are doing that, so if you are adding walls, as you can see, they don't connect to the ceiling. You're gonna have to either go do this and make it even flatter, or then do the same trick that we did here, up here as well. So those are your options. depending on what is the ideal situation, like what is the thing you're looking for. Because this is gonna be flat. If you're doing this, you're gonna end up with the flat roof. The similar than this. But if that's okay and that's something you want, then do that or make the roof bigger. Then you can get more angles and you coverage, you know, because then it's a full block again. Because if it's a bigger one, again you get full block and, you know, walls. Okay, that was an explanation enough. We sidetracked. But just a little detail in case you want to make this set shape, but you want it to be even more rounder. That is one way to do it, and I recommend using, because we made the roof out of deep slate. Use deep slate walls. That way they gotta connect the walls and the roof a little bit to each other. That way you are not adding too many details. Because if you add another wall, so let's say you were to add like a new color into the wall, it's gonna start looking like it has too much, because we have a lot of details, right? Minimize details. Add only like things you feel like you need, because if you add another color, again, it's gonna make it look too much, because we have a lot of details on the foundation itself. Because note blocks have a lot of details, which is why. And also we have the fancy blackstone, which again does have a lot of details, as you can see. So try to use only like 3 or 4. I usually recommend 3 blocks that are highly detailed. Sometimes 2 is enough of blocks that have a lot of details, and then after that try to make it as undetailed as you can. And what I mean by that, I don't mean don't use any trapdoors or anything like that. I'm talking about blocks specifically, because I don't believe that trapdoors have so much detail. Only trapdoors that have a lot of detail is the jungle wood and the warp trapdoor, and they are the only ones that have a lot of details, but they even don't have as much textural detail to make the house look too much, even if you were to add that instead. Which is like, the blocks have a lot more detail and usually are more seeable details, which is why I recommend using only 2 to 3. 4 can be already too much of details. And I don't mean you need to use 4 blocks to build. I mean 4 blocks that have a lot of details. If it goes over 5 different blocks, it's gonna look messy. Like, the house is gonna look like a fucking mess. It's gonna look like you just found all the materials and slapped them together. I try to keep, like, if you're using wood or trapdoors or a situation like that, try to use the same wood. If you have wooden details, obviously just don't use the same way. But, you know, you get the point. 4 or 5. From 2 blocks to 4 blocks. If they are very detailed, use 2. If they're heavy detailed blocks, use 2 or 3. If it's not heavy detailed, like exactly like I don't know, fucking note blocks. Unless you want to make your house out of note blocks. I mean, I suppose that could look cool. Anyways, back to the point. I recommend usually using less detailed blocks and then adding more details, which again can create certain differentiations. But I mean, yeah, that usually helps me a lot, usually, when I'm doing. But then happens houses like this, and then I just wonder what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, 4 different blocks is the maximum that I usually recommend using. Because you can do variations of those blocks a lot. There's a lot of blocks that have a lot of variations, which is like, usually I recommend adding 1 block that has all the variations, like from the stairs to the full block, to the slab, to the stairs. Bonus points if it does have also the wall, especially if you're making a round shape. Do one that has also the wall. So one that has a wall. Now I don't mean the fence. I mean the wall. They are different. The way they connect to the wall is different, which is why I use the wall, not the fence. Okay? And or then if you want a harder shape and you want to use fence, then use one that has a fence, has the stairs, has the slab, has the full block. If bonus points if it does have a trapdoor. I usually recommend using a wood, like using one wood or one stone that has all the variations. That way, you don't make too much. Because if you add too many things, it's easily gonna look like just everything and anything all of the time. Unless that's a goal. I mean, I suppose that could be a goal too. Like, but yeah. If that's not what you want, then I recommend using maximum of 4 different blocks. But use blocks that has, oh, at least one of them has to have all the variations. Then after that, go fuck wild, I guess. But yeah, that's about it about building. Those are the tips and tricks I usually use when I'm building shit like this. Let's go through the building once again. Like I said before, this was super fun. I like the details, and this is actually the shapes is reminding me a lot of the building that I saw. Like it had like these kind of details, but it was even more. It had even more like detail on the roof and stuff. But due to the fact that even though I have uh, technically proven my own point unnecessary, which is like making small triangle shapes is hard. It's not impossible. I have done it before. So yeah, it. I was gonna say it had a lot more triangular shapes on the roofs, which we technically could make, but we would have had to make bigger roof though. I suppose 3 by 3 would be enough, but since it did have a window, it would be kind of a painful thing to start doing, which is why we left those. But yeah, this was fun. This was actually fun. But now I'm getting tired. It's been 3 hours since we started this build. I think it's starting to be time to head out. Since, you know, we do be building 3 hours today. That was insane. But at least we built the beach house with a little bit of a gothic vibe to it. I like this house a lot. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I have a lot of favorite buildings, to be honest. But this is one of them. This is definitely one of the favorite ones. But I'm very tired. I feel like I'm probably gonna head out. Just in case, because you know. I don't really feel like playing mini games today. Also, yeah. I don't feel like doing mini games today, but I will be back on Sunday. I shall send you guys to the ending time and we'll do the outro